Since he moved to central Otago 6 months ago, vet Jeff Woodhouse has been treating a wide variety of species, and this morning is no exception. He's been called to the Queenstown Kiwi and Birdlife Park, which is part of the Department of Conservation's Kiwi Recovery Program, breeding kiwis for release into the wild. Kirsty and Bevan are wildlife keepers at the park.
Yeah, it is. Captive kiwi eggs tend to be a lot smaller than wild eggs.
Koru the kiwi is having trouble walking. The problem began shortly after she laid an egg.
That's how you saw her?
Yeah, because I called for her when I brought her food in, and she came out from here and sort of ran down to me, and I noticed that she was, really ungainly and all over the place and having quite a bit of trouble stepping down from a raised sort of level.
Okay, right.
And she just, she's not ready.
Look, we'll pick her up now.
Koru's an 8-year-old North Island brown kiwi who was born at the park. She's not feeling good about the world and hasn't come out of her box since last night.
Right, oh, they're quite strong, aren't they? Let's strain those legs a little bit. She seems to have plenty of tone to her, plenty of weight. Not massively dropped off, is it? Okay. Well, why don't we put her down? We'll just watch her move so I can just see her, okay?
It's obvious that Koru has a serious problem. She's lost the use of her legs and her condition is deteriorating. After a thorough examination, Jeff rules out obvious illnesses.
She feels in good condition, she feels normal warmth when you're handling her. She doesn't seem dehydrated.
Kiwis have an inherent design fault. They lay disproportionately large eggs, about 20% of their own size. This is the third egg that Koru has laid in as many months. It's a strain for a small bird, and Jeff suspects that may have caused her condition.
I mean, whether it's big or small for her, to me, for a bird this size, that's a big egg. And it just may be that she's a bit predisposed to it, which will be great because the chances of recovery are higher.
Koru is tucked back into her burrow for the night. Jeff will x-ray her tomorrow to see if she sustained any fractures as a result of laying the egg.
Okay, sweetheart.
Back at the clinic, nursing student Julie has been given more responsibility under Nikki the vet's watchful eye. She's learning to insert a tube which allows Billy to breathe while he's under anaesthetic.
The trachea lies ventral or lower than the esophagus does. Okay. So, and you see two little wings, which are the arytenoids of the larynx. You want to go between those, and you'll see them moving with her breath. Okay. So you want to go between those. If you can't see them, now I'll hold her head. You want to open her jaw, pull her tongue out, because that brings it forward. No, over the front of the teeth. That's it. Okay. That's it. Now can you see? Can you see two little wings?
Yes.
Yep. That's what you're aiming for.
And kind of low.
Yep. You want to go between those. And she may give a little cough. Okay, there's no little cough there. But you may be in. Put your hands are in there. Okay. Sweet.
No sweat.
Okay, just support her head for me.
Nikki does a quick check, just to be sure.
Yep. Hang on. Well done. She's good.
It was very good instructions.
Oh, rubbish. No, you're just a fantastic student.
Yeah.
Julie's passed the test with flying colours. The hands-on experience she's getting at Remarkable Vets will serve her well in her last year of veterinary nurse training at Massey.
Amazing.
Four hours later, Jeff's dealing with a very sick kitten. Although he's only 6 weeks old, Mookie's already had a brush with death. He's one of the many strays handed to the SPCA, and he was about to be put down.
I think he was first on their culling list.
Right.
Mandy rescued Mookie just in time. She's only had the kitten for 3 days, but he's suddenly lost all interest in life.
It's been disinterested in food and it's been vomiting, it's had diarrhoea, and it's been drinking very, very little. We haven't been able to sort of entice it with anything really.
She's not much to him, is there?
No, he's not. He's pretty bony under all that fluff.
A thorough physical examination hasn't revealed any obvious problems.
I would like to just do a blood smear on him with just checking for feline enteritis, okay? I think it's worth ruling that out because if he has that, then he really doesn't have a future.
Jeff's worried that Mookie may have feline enteritis, a highly infectious, fatal viral disease with a high mortality rate, particularly in kittens. A blood sample will give Jeff more information, but Mookie is making his protest loud and clear. Eventually, Jeff's able to get a sample which he analyses straight away. And there's good news for little Mookie.
Plenty of white cells around, so it doesn't look like it's likely to be feline enteritis.
Diesel's always around to keep an eye on kittens in trouble. While Mookie's taking his inoculation bravely, Diesel's getting just a little up close and personal.
Wait, Diesel.
It's 9 o'clock at night, and while the kitten's out of immediate danger, the cause of his illness is still uncertain. Jeff will rehydrate Mookie and run further tests in the morning. Because this little kitten's had such a rough start in life, Jeff decides to take him home for the night. Mookie the kitten is back at the clinic after spending the night with Jeff and his family. And it's good news.
He's on his way home. He's picked up and he hasn't looked back since he had some fluids really. He's had one little vomit, but he's enjoying his food now. So we're very optimistic for him.
There's even time for a quick makeover before his owner arrives.
Is that alright? You pretty enough?
Although he's only 6 weeks old, Mookie's already used up 2 of his 9 lives, so he's due for some extra pampering.
Mandy, hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hello, man. Hello.
He's big talking now.
He is.
Looking quite different, eh?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
While it's a happy ending for Mookie, this won't be Mandy's last visit to the clinic this week. Koru the Kiwi is having a big day out. Jeff's arranged for her to be x-rayed at the Queenstown Medical Centre.
To check bone density and see if there have been any perhaps fractures associated with the passing of the egg that might be making it unable to stand at the moment, with the theory being that it may be hypocalcemic. Hey, sweetie.
We've just been trying to keep her as calm as possible and not really getting her worked up or anything, just
Yeah, no,
being
good
quiet,
call.
so
Good call. All right.
she won't struggle at all when you lift her out.
No, okay, that's good.
X-raying a kiwi is a delicate job. They're feisty birds at the best of times, and keeping them still for any length of time is a major challenge. While Koru's condition is unfortunate, her lack of mobility makes the task a lot easier.
It doesn't immediately reek of real bone density problems simply because of the width of those cortices. They look okay, don't they?
Yeah, I agree.
Jeff will seek an expert opinion. He's sending the x-rays to a Kiwi specialist at Auckland Zoo.
Next is we'll start treating with some calcium, and we'll start that tonight, carry on throughout tomorrow, and just wait for some comment on the x-rays from the zoo.
Remarkable Vets is just 5 months old. While the clinic's flat out, the money's not coming in. Jeff's called in a business consultant for advice.
It's nothing new. You've certainly got a lot of fantastic clients. It's just a matter of, making sure that the money's coming into your bank account at the right time.
Okay.
The clinic has a problem faced by most new businesses: cash flow. Sharon has helped Jeff to rewrite his terms of trade, and they've put them in a newsletter which he'll post to all of his clients.
Let's face it, everybody knows that they owe the money.
Yeah.
It's just that they get a bit lax and
Right.
send the money in. So that's great. I think that'll be fantastic.
That's good.
With the paperwork under control, Jeff can get back to business.
Okay. And the breathing that we're seeing here that's been going on.
It's been an unfortunate week for Mandy and Damien. Earlier in the week it was Mookie the cat, and now they've returned with their Jack Russell, Koru. Ironically, he shares the same name as a sick Kiwi. Mandy and Damien were getting him used to four-wheel driving, but Koru ran under the wheel of the truck and he's in a lot of pain. Jeff's initial examination shows a pelvic fracture. Koru may have other internal injuries and will need to be operated on as soon as possible. Jeff's first priority is to give him some pain relief.
You just say goodbye to Mum and Dad. Okay.
It's shaping up to be another late night for Jeff. He takes some x-rays to confirm the injuries.
Koru's had two problems tonight. One is that he has a fracture through growth plate of his thigh bone. Quite a common young dog fracture because it's a real weak point. And that really is going to need surgical repair to do the best job for him. And the other thing he had was what we call a pneumothorax, where air had leaked into the chest around the lungs and was making it a little more difficult for him to breathe.
Time is of the essence. Nikki's given up her night to help with the operation. They're inserting a metal pin into Koru's leg to keep the bone stable while he heals. The surgery takes around 3 hours.
He's looking really happy, which is nice. He's going to go ballistic, I think, when he sees his dad.
Koru's operation was a success. Just 2 days later, he's more like his usual self. There's no doubt that Koru is one lucky little dog. He'll be back in a few weeks to have the pin removed from his leg. From now on, maybe he'll stick to chasing balls instead of cars.
Yeah, right, let's go.
While Jeff and the team are used to dealing with animal emergencies, the surgery is about to host a human casualty. The clinic shares their parking area with a concrete cutting company who are storing drums of xylene, a flammable chemical used for concrete cleaning. With the temperature in the yard hitting 40 degrees, one of the pressurised drums explodes, spraying a worker in the face.
He was having respiratory difficulty and obviously discomfort from the burning of the chemical, so we got the ambulance straight away, assisted with the washing down, and Vicky had the bright idea of bringing him inside and getting him into the shower because it was giving him some relief to get the cold water on board.
I just stayed with him. I jumped in the shower with him and just tried to get him to slow his breathing down and stop panicking.
The emergency services swing into action. The clinic is evacuated. The fire department cordons off the area and the victim is removed in an ambulance. A decontamination unit is on the way from Dunedin.
The panic button went and it was treated like a nuclear accident, and we were at the centre of it.
Although the clinic staff are safely outside the cordon, Jeff's worried about a dog that's tied up at the back of the clinic. They were planning to run tests on him that night.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeff discovers that xylene can attack the central nervous system. Prolonged exposure can cause death. The dog could be in serious danger. Eventually, Jeff gets permission to re-enter the area, escorted by a firefighter.
Okay. Come on, Gotcha, come on. Good boy, good boy.
Butch is frightened, but unharmed.
Good boy.
The accident scene will remain restricted for several hours, so once again, Jeff decides to take Butch home with him for the night. It's been an unusual day for the clinic staff. While they're used to saving lives, treating humans is a whole different ballgame.
It's looking very good.
The following morning, there's been another birth out in alpaca country, and Jeff's missed the big moment.
Alistair gave me a call and just said, look, it's all happening and the sack is around the face. By the time I was heading up the driveway, it was just hitting the ground, so everything had gone very quickly and very smoothly. No problems, Mother Nature taking care of everything as usual.
Jeff needs to check out new baby Annie without stressing Angel, her mum.
Okay, feels good, all aligned nicely.
Alpacas are very protective of their young. If they feel threatened, they spit.
Very good, I think we'll just let them get back.
It's a smelly combination of regurgitated grass and saliva, enough to drive away an enemy, but not an enthusiastic vet. Jeff is learning to deal with brand new alpacas, but getting there for the birth is proving difficult.
I've actually still got to have a hands-on, because every time I arrive, they've just got through the job, so... But as I say, I'm more than happy about that.
And so is the proud mum, and the rest of the herd. Jeff's popped into the Kiwi and BirdLife Park to check on Koru. Her legs may be paralysed, but there's no problem with her appetite.
Oh yes. Hey?
Our national bird is declining at an alarming rate. Before the arrival of man, there were more than 50 million Kiwis living in New Zealand. Now there are only an estimated 30,000 North Island brown kiwis like Koru left in the world. The park plays an important part in ensuring the survival of New Zealand's national icon.
We're waiting for a sign, something that would lead us to believe that she would be on the road to recovery, and I think that might be it.
Until the results from the x-rays are known, Jeff continues to treat Koru with calcium injections to strengthen her bones.
Okay, I'd say we get her back home. All right, she's had a big day out.
After another busy week, Jeff finally gets to spend some precious time with his family. Arrowtown is proud of its gold mining past. Several times a year, the town dresses in period costumes and rolls back the clock. Profits from the events go to local schools and charities. This weekend, Jeff's kids are all involved. But Jeff's youngest daughter, Carmen, has a few pre-show nerves.
Star Attraction's just a bit reluctant at the moment. I guess she's waiting until all the buses arrive. Then she'll be on.
Older sister Nigella offers some inspiration, but Carmen's having none of it. This is one star who isn't going to be pushed.
Arms out.
150 years of history means little when you're only 15 months old.
Fantastic.
Carmen's not waiting around for an encore. She's spotted chocolate, and just a few minutes later, she's full of energy. Although they haven't been near any chocolate, Diesel and Bear are both feeling a little hyperactive. Diesel knows a few play-fighting tricks, like not banging your head on things. Poor little Bear is still learning the game. Across town, Jeff's received an urgent call to the Kiwi and Birdlife Park. Wildlife keeper Kirsty is worried that Koru the kiwi has suffered a serious setback.
I've increased the temperature in here, so we're just keeping it warm. This is how she's been all day.
Really?
Yeah.
No sort of respiratory symptoms, no eye weeping,
no eye weeping. Her eyes have been rolling quite a bit this morning, nothing yesterday. She's had her eyes closed for most of today. Possibly mild sort of regurgitation going on, but nothing coming out, so it's hard to know.
Yeah.
This morning, the little kiwi stopped eating altogether. She's developed a pronounced wobble in her head, and her zest for life seems to have disappeared completely. Jeff suspects that the tremor in Koru's head may indicate a serious neurological problem.
Certainly deteriorated in this last 48 hours, unfortunately. She's just sort of collapsed in the screaming heap, really. The future's looking bleak.
Koru seems to have lost the will to live. But before he makes the hard call, Jeff tries one last thing. He calls the Kiwi experts at Massey University.
It's just that we've had a little bit of a turn for the worse. I'd just like to just get an opinion on what might be going on. Yeah. Okay, that'd be great. Excellent. Okay, bye-bye. Because of these neurological disorders that Kiwis have been prone to, they're sort of geared up to try and investigate them. So they're quite prepared because they have funding from a big sponsor to MRI and CT scan anything that comes up. You know, so she's either getting treated and diagnosed sort of further, or she's getting euthanized. And so I think, now we can go the next step.
Massive.
Yeah.
Every year, New Zealand's Kiwi population falls by 6%. At this rate, wild Kiwis could disappear from the North Island mainland within 50 years.
We'll just get it on the plane and worry about paying for it later.
The neurological research being conducted at Massey plays an important role in preventing the extinction of our national bird. Little Koru has just become a very special kiwi, one of the few who's finally managed to fly. Koru's namesake, the Jack Russell, recovered well from his surgery and he's taken up skiing. Next week on Remarkable Vets, Jeff deals with a poisoned alpaca. Diesel gets into a fight and comes off second best, and Jeff decides that it's all downhill from here.
He's got stuff for your puppies, for sheep